Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Dark Souls series. This time I want to talk to you about something called the fair chance warning. Now when people talk about Dark Souls, sometimes the argument comes up that Dark Souls is too hard of a game. And people that defend it will say it might be a hard game, but it's fair. And the fair chance warning is why it is fair. In this little clip that I've took in No Man's War, you can see various design elements that are examples of the fair chance warning. Fair chance warning is pretty much a little warning that tells you that you're about to get screwed and gives the player a chance to get out of the way, or to do something about it. At the start of the clip, if you want to rewind and see that, you can see a corpse lying on the floor, fully armored with weapons in hand. Well, that's the warning you got right there, and your chance to respond to it is by actually stabbing it to death before you walk past it and let it backstab you. See, it's tough but fair. In the clip that you see right here, it's one of the traps. I tend to hit boxes before I open them. But the fair chance warning is the luscious amount of smoke that comes out of it. Now, I didn't know what to expect, it's a trap so I died anyway, but it's a fair chance for you to get out of the way when you see huge amounts of smoke like that. It's unusual, so it catches your attention. Now, the main thing that I like about No Man's War are these bat-like creatures that you see fighting right here. They live in the darkness, they use a lot of bleed damage, but one strike is not enough to trigger the bleed counter, which is part of your fair chance warning. It tells you by this first encounter that yes, they use bleed damage. The second hit screws you over, not the first one. Now if you in No Man's War use this Ferrous Lockstone thing right here, don't mind everything shooting me in the back, then suddenly the entire room will be lit up. Further adding to the bat-like state of these creatures, the creatures hate this light, which is lovely, and it brings us to another example of the fair chance warning in just about a couple seconds. I'm just about to realize here that everything's lit up and I'm not sure what it does yet. But if we cut to this little clip over here, you can suddenly see that the same area where I previously fought these bat-like creatures is now void of them. They backed up somewhere, and I see them sitting in that little area over there. So I tried to lure them out with a little bit of a knife throw, but they stay in there. So right now I'm not sure if they respond to the light or not, so I attack one. He responds, comes outside and just backs off from the light. Now this is an established mechanic. You see the little extra animation that lets them walk backwards and out of the light. So this is an established mechanic. Now the player thinks, good, I can hit them from the light and nothing bad will happen to me. But these things change their mechanic drastically once they've established that the player will not come inside with them. But they do tell the player that they're about to fuck him over by this. The animation you see in the background right there is one of the bat creatures, what I believe is scratching his eyes out in order to not see the difference between dark and light anymore. This is the fair chance warning that the creature is going berserk and is coming for your ass. Now you can see this here in a more vivid example of all three of them doing it at the same time. They scratch their eyes out, they don't care about the light anymore, and here they come. See, if this were to happen randomly, the beast would just charge at you in a change of their established mechanic that they fear the light. That would be unfair. That would feel like you're being screwed over by the game just because. But because they have this little extra animation that you see them becoming enraged and what I believe is scratching their eyes out, you can expect something to change. The game warns you before it does. And that's the fair chance warning. Now if you manage to implement this fair chance warning in your game, then your people will love the challenge in it without feeling that it's too overwhelming. My name is Dutchdoomsday, and this was my talk on fair chance warning. Thank you for listening.